Hi Russ, and this is a video on how to do the flying portions of the BMFA B test. We have 10 knots of wind down the runway, and we are not going to do the full B test because the first two manoeuvres are the circuit and the figure eight, exactly the same as the A test. So I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to see a video of those and some information on how to do it. And that little brown hill in the distance I'm going to use for my centre line. So we've assumed that we've finished the circuit and we've finished the figure eight, and as we do so we run back in and we can start the next manoeuvre, which is the loop. The loop doesn't have to be perfectly round, but you must demonstrate the use of throttle on the way round, and it should exit approximately the same height as you entered. Of course, it should be in the centre. The next manoeuvre is the bunt. It says you should make the climb neatly, so what I'm going to do is roll the aircraft inverted and push around a half a bunt up here, which gives me a bit of a free practice, and I can then run in on a sensible line to start the bunt. Once again, same as the loop, we need to close the throttle at the top to start with, open it fairly quickly in this 10 knots of wind to get the aircraft to fly back into the wind. Doesn't have to be perfectly round, but once again the exit height should be very similar to the entry height. Complete there. Give myself a little bit of room to set up for the two consecutive rolls into wind, and I'm going to roll, they must be opposite to the ones downwind, so I'm going to roll away from myself each time. So the rolls are going to be to the left. Starting there. This model doesn't need very much elevator at all, just a tiny bit of rudder. The centre should be roughly in the centre line, although there is a little bit of leeway. And it finishes just as I've gone past that tree in the house there. So when I come back and do the downwind rolls, I'm going to start them in exactly the same place and just do them slightly faster. So they mustn't be twinkle rolls, so you must demonstrate the control, which in case, again, is just a little bit of rudder mainly in this plane. So as we come past the tree in the house there, we start the roll, this time to the right, just a little bit quicker than the roll to the left. You get a little bit more leeway on the centre, and we finish it there. The next manoeuvre is a stall turn. It has to be done 100 metres away from you, so at the end of the roll is ideal to pull straight up into it, but you don't have to. You can position yourself round again if you need to. And we come back out with a vertical line back to the baseline. It does actually say that you should complete the stall turn by flying past you, but just in the simulator here I'm going to pull up a little bit early because it just saves wasting a bit of time flying 100 metres back to then fly away from you. And we climb up for the 3-turn spin, which it says can be a little bit further away from you than the standard line and height that you've been doing the manoeuvres, so we'll do that. And of course it must be done into the wind and entered approximately in the centre. And you mustn't use aileron to enter. So the power is back, elevator's back, there goes the rudder, now comes the aileron, and we stop it back into wind. A little bit of leeway again, 10 to 15 degrees off is not a problem. And we're back down to the circuit base height. The next manoeuvre is going to be the collision avoidance go-round. And it doesn't have to be a full rectangular circuit. It talks about a rectangular landing approach, so we call downwind to land, check the landing area is clear, and make a rectangular base leg or crosswind leg there. And as we do so, we start to reduce the throttle to get the aircraft to descend. Again, using throttle to control the height and the angle, elevator to control the speed. It does say that you should bring the aircraft, the throttle back to idle for the approach, but with 10 knots of wind that's not going to happen. But obviously make it a proper landing approach. So if the examiner didn't call go around, you could actually land. But he calls a collision there, so you call going around. As you do so, you climb the aircraft and you turn the aircraft away 30 to 45 degrees to avoid the collision. That manoeuvre is finished, and we're going to set ourselves up for the downwind circuit below 40 feet. And again, good couple of calls on this one is worthwhile, so downwind, right to left, low level, etc. and establish the aircraft not too fast because you are going downwind over the ground fairly quickly, and obviously you don't want to go downwind too far, so once you've gone past yourself, immediately sort of start turning around and allow for drift on this leg, of course. And the turn as we come back upwind can be a little bit more gentle to allow for the wind effect. Obviously the power is coming up again to keep the aircraft manoeuvring at a sensible speed up into wind. Go a bit further up than you think you need, of course, same as the other downwind circuit in the A test, and make that turn gentle and allow for drift on this crosswind leg as well. Final leg needs to be a little bit tighter to get it nicely done before you come flying past yourself, and that manoeuvre finishes there as you go past. You now need just to set the sails up for a landing, and once again we don't have to do a full rectangular circuit, it is a rectangular landing approach. So I'm going to position the aircraft there, call downwind to land, and bring the aircraft round to the crosswind leg there. Once you're on crosswind, start to reduce the throttle to get the aircraft descending on to finals, and of course a standard landing should be within the 30-metre block that you agreed with the examiner to start with, which in the case of most fields will probably be pretty much down the centre of the runway. So come round, get the aircraft to land in the appropriate spot and roll out. That's the flying test complete. There'll be some more videos coming up on how to do nice round loops and some information on the rolls.